Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So, welcome back to our complete reading of Srimad Ramayana. In a previous episode, we saw the importance of Yagna, the why that is needed in the Hindu Dharma. We also spoke about the debts that every person is born with, Devaruna, Rishiruna, and Pitruruna. So we talked about all three of them, and we also discussed how Yagna can help us in multiple ways, right? So now we'll come back to Dasaratha's AswamedhaYagna. So as I told before, or as we discussed before, Dasaratha has left the horse on the Chaitra Purnima, and the horse is supposed to come back by the Amavasya of Falguna month, almost close to an year. Now, in the meantime, see, before the horse comes back, which is by the Amavasya of Falguna month, the king had to do a few things. Okay, because the moment the horse comes in the next Chaitra month, the king should do the Yajnasala Pravesa or Yagasala Pravesa, which means he's again going back into the Yagashala to finish the Yajna. So before that, before he enters the Yagashala, he has to go and get some Ritviks. Ritviks are the people who help him do the Yajna, and in them he has to go and get a few people who are called as Brahma, Gopa, Advaryu, and also the Brahma, Gopa, Advaryu are the titles of the people who perform the Yajna. They are not the names. So as Brahma, who would be leading the entire Yajna, he took Rishyasringa Maharshi. He went and requested Rishyasringa Maharshi to take the position, and then he went to Vasishtha Maharshi and asked Vasishtha Maharshi to be the Advaryu of this particular Yajna. So he goes to Vasishtha Maharshi and he says, Punah prapte vasamte tu purna samvatsaro bhavet prasavardham gato yushtam hayamedhena viryavan. So he is saying the season of spring, the spring season has come back. Okay, so all the 6 seasons are over. Okay, we call them as 6 ritus, right? In Sanatana Dharma, we call it as 6 ritus. Okay, all 6 ritus are over. The horse has come back. So now I have to do the Yajnashala Pravesha. Okay, you are the best in the set of Purohitas. Okay, or the Pandits that I have, you are the best of them. You know my heart. You are the person who really wishes that something good should happen to me. So kindly go ahead, take your seat, and ensure that this Yajna is happening in a very nice way. All this is on your shoulders now. Please go ahead. Okay. Now, once he has decided on the Brahma and the Advaryu, the king should not take any individual decisions. Everything regarding this Yajna will be decided by those two people. Okay. So then Vasishtha Maharshi said, don't worry, whatever you have in your heart, that will happen, and you will get children. Don't worry. Now see, this is the good thing in Sanatana Dharma, where we just don't become mad when we are disappointed once or twice in life. We really figure out who can help us at that point of time, go take their help, and they too, and the person who is also helping, he won't show attitude or something. He would just say, yes, this is going to happen. I'm going to do my part in ensuring this. So this is the beauty through which, this is the beauty of living together, of people helping each other, of people collaborating with each other. See, till now, neither Rishyasringa took anything from Dasaratha in the last 1 year, nor Vasishtha took anything from him. They are all working for a good cause, which is to ensure that there's a proper line of succession in that kingdom. Okay. Immediately Vasishtha has invited all the ministers, the soldiers, the senapatis. A senapati is like a commander, okay, and other men who are working for the king, and he gave them their responsibilities. Okay. Now, not just that, in the meantime, while they are all given their tasks, King Dasaratha, he quickly called his minister Sumantra and said, see, on the banks of the Saryu river, go to the north bank of the river, construct the Yagashala in a very nice way. Okay, go whatever the way in which Vasishtha asks you to build it, go build it. And two, at the same time, while this Yajna is happening, they'll make me do the Yajna, but I'll have to invite a few others because, See, our kings were not these bloodthirsty battlefield fellows who always fought with each other. No, that was not the case. See, look what Dasaratha is saying. He's saying, go ahead and call all the kings here because I am doing something good, and it always feels good when we have a lot of people around us. So he's saying, call all the kings, by the protocol. And at the same time, he's saying, not just the kings, call the people of all denominations. Denomination here is not a, I'm using the word there because in those days we had this Varna Vyavastha where people, people had their own jobs, like Brahmanas had a different job, Kshatriyas had a different job, Vaisyas, Shudra. So he's now saying, call everyone from all the kingdoms. We are going to feed them. Okay. And then when they come here, for all of them, you are see for the kings, you have to build kings' quarters, which should be like for the kings. At the same time, each king will have some advisors, some officers along with them. For them, make temporary quarters in which they also can live. At the same time, you'll have a lot of citizens from these kingdoms, and forget all the other kingdoms. In our own kingdom, you'll have a lot of citizens who want to come and turn up and see how the yajna is happening. So for them, make quarters. Now, till here, anybody would tell, but Dasharatha's greatness lies in the next line that he says. He says, all the Janapadas are people who are from a extremely, see, Pauras are the people who come from, mostly that's used in a meaning where it talks about people mostly from the cities or towns, but Janapadas are people who come from small hamlets, small villages, extremely rural people. He's saying you have to build quarters for them also, and since they are from a hamlet, they are not very rich, they are from a very small village, okay, and they might not know much about the types of the world, the ways of the world. Now, just because they are like that, you cannot treat them lesser than anybody else. He's saying build good houses for them, temporary places for them, and ensure that they feel happy when they are coming here. They must be extremely happy. Now, again, he is now giving instructions. He is saying tadha janavadasyapi janasya bahusovanam datavyamannam vidhivat satkritya natu leelaya. So what he is saying here is, he's saying, see, people who come from cities, they would have tasted good food. The kings would have had good food. All of them will have very, very nice food. What happens in normally when we are feeding multiple types of people is we normally end up ignoring these people who are coming from villages, because in a village probably they would be eating one sort of food always, and they would have not tried a lots of different types of dishes. So when they come to eat, it's very common for people, to just look down on them, not serve them properly and all. So Dasharatha is saying, no, that should not be, that is not at all acceptable. I want you to take a special care for these people to such an extent where each one of them feels very happy. You go to them, you ensure that the people who are serving have a lot of patience. They go to them, they ask them to try every variety of food that is on the offering. So they try, let them try whatever they want, and let them eat whatever they want, and ensure that all of them are extremely happy. So look at how Dasharatha is. I mean, today also we see in a lot of places where food is served and all. In some places they really follow this, where the person who is serving the food in many temples and all, when they're serving the food, they really ensure that everybody is eating properly. Everybody, they show the patience and all, so that everybody is eating properly and all. But in some places they just, it's very, very mechanical. Hope that changes. And even in lunch, when you have a buffet happening, probably getting this amount of care for each person is very tough. But if you end up, putting tables, making people sit there and eat, or probably putting food on the ground. I mean, putting leaves and banana leaves, or makeshift plates, one-time use plates, and make them sit and then serve them. Then you can make all these sorts of differences. to them. I mean, difference in the sense you can make a difference by serving them, by understanding what they need and all. So Dasharatha Maharaja is actually showing us, or Ramayana is actually showing us how food should be given. And Dasharatha Maharaja says, now for all these people, for the kings, the advisors, the commanders, the army fellows, the people from the towns, cities, and also the people from the villages, the hamlets, the people who are coming from small places, you are supposed to give them good clothes to everyone so that they feel happy. And the wonderful poets in Telugu who wrote how this happened also. And one such great poet is Vishwanath Satyanarayana Garu, in which he says, it seems that people were, the way Dasharatha Maharaja's people served all these people at lunch and all was so wonderful that at some point of time people were saying, "Arey, God has done what did this God do to me?" They were actually talking about the Parabrahman, Paramatma, God. They're saying, "Ayo, the food is so tasty. The way the people are serving is so good. I'm only sad that God had to put a limit to my tummy. Okay, otherwise I would have had more." So that was a sort of happiness all of these people had when they were having lunch. So, and everyone coming there was now blessing. They were saying, "Hey Dasharatha Maharaja, with whatever desire you are doing this, it should be fulfilled. We are all happy." Okay. And Dasharatha Maharaja, why they felt so happy? Because, one more thing that Dasharatha Maharaja says, he talked about how the food should be served on the plate also. He's saying, "Sarvavarna yadha pujam prapnavanti susatkrutaha nachavagnya prayoktavya kamakroda vasadapi." He's saying, when somebody is serving and all the four varnas are going to sit and eat, I mean, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras, and everyone in the society. When we say Chaturvarnya, it is not just like, okay, this is a Sudra caste, this is not an Asud. No, it's everyone in the society. When we are talking about Chaturvarnya, that's how it means. Okay, so everyone, when they're coming and sitting, okay, sometimes what happens, so Dasharatha Maharaj is, what he's saying is, when you have called all the people, when all of them are having food, sometimes, somebody might not, somebody might want to have a little more dal or something. He would have told that out, but because the guy who was serving, he might have, already moved on, or he might have not heard, and that makes the guy who is sitting and having food angry. Now, he might say a word or two, because we never know how hungry he is, and how that hunger would have triggered anger. But the person who is serving, he should never get into any of those angry or jealous sort of emotions. If they're saying anything, if they're insulting, put a smile on your face. Okay, but don't ever insult anyone. Okay, don't. And anyone who is serving the food, forget your status, forget that you are an adhikari, or adhikari, an officer. Forget that you are an officer. Just remember that you are serving the food and those people are eating. Okay, so keep only that relationship open. Forget that you are a minister, or a person working in the court of the king, or you are a king's servant. No, forget all these titles, become one and serve the people who have come. Okay, and then he is also saying, "Avagnyaya na datavyam kasyat chillilayapi va avagnyaya krutam hanyat dataram natra samsayaha." So he's saying, again, he's saying, everyone who is, when you are giving clothes, ensure that you are understanding what sort of clothes he has to wear, and you are giving them such clothes. Okay, and he's saying, don't ever give it away with the left hand. Be very, very careful when you are giving. Don't ever have a feeling that you are the giver and he is the taker. So that sort of a instruction was given by Dasharatha Maharaja, and that's where everybody, every person who came was extremely happy. And the way they were all talking, the sounds that were coming is diyatam diyatamanam vasamse vidhancha ithancho istha tatra tatha chakrunanekasaha. So every, on one side they were saying, give more food, and in another side they were saying, okay, we need more clothes, a lot of people have come here. Okay, like that people were shouting, it seems, and all that was happening. Okay, and in the meantime, Dasharatha Maharaja also asked certain kings to be invited. So he asked for a number of kings. So who are all the kings that he has invited for that, and whom all he has sent to invite those kings? That's something we'll be seeing in our next episode. So this episode we saw how all the people were having food and having a good time. Now, who are all the kings who came, who all went to invite those kings? That we'll be seeing in our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaः, sarve bhadrani pasyamtu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Jai Shri Ram.